Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Copper Jacket TV. So things are getting a little bit out of control here. When a governor can stand in front of the TV cameras and talk about how there's a 1,300% increase in firearms confiscation in their state, we need to do something about it, and there needs to be more people talking about it. That recently happened with Governor Kathy Hochul, who had a press conference and said this.
We've strengthened the red flag laws, the extreme risk orders of protection. All those by state police, the number is extraordinary. It's gone up over 1,300%. And today I'm announcing the latest data from 2023 shows that 1,385 red flags. Again, this is to alert people that there are people who could do harm to themselves or others, all in 2023 for a total of 2,500 guns.
So she seems pretty thrilled that back in 2023, there were over 2,500 confiscations in the state of New York. That's a pretty big number, right? Well, it looks like this year is set up to be even bigger. We're talking about just the first couple months of 2024, and the numbers already look like this.
All those guns were seized as a result of this initiative. Already to date, we track these numbers. I read them every single week. We've already had 290 red flags, seizing a total of 590 guns just this year.
So in just the first couple months of 2024 alone, we're already at 1/5 of the total year for 2023. That is a massive number. Now keep in mind that everybody from last year, previous years, everybody from this year who had one of these ERPOs filed against them had absolutely no idea what was happening until it was actually over. So basically you're just sitting around, maybe enjoying a football game, just hanging out, eating some nachos. Next thing you know, you get a knock on the door and, hey, guess what? This court order was filed against you by somebody, and we're here to take your personal, privately owned, protected property.
All those guns were seized as a result of this initiative.
Now, in some instances, we've seen things like warrants be served in the middle of the night where people have absolutely no idea what's going on. They're woken out of bed by people with flashlights and stuff walking through their house, and it doesn't usually turn out very good for anybody. So, obviously, this is a huge problem. Now, these are items that are supposed to be protected by the Second Amendment to the Constitution. That should be a pretty big deal, right? So to go in front of the TV cameras like that and talk about how successful it has been that you've been able to strip people of their constitutional rights without due process, I think that the problem lies probably even deeper than we expected.
And we filed more ERPOs, as we call them, in the first 2 months of 2024. Now, first couple of months, than all of 2019, 2020, and 21 combined. That's what I'm talking about. That's why we're seeing real results. The law is working as I intended, and it's saving lives. Fewer guns leads to less gun crime.
Now, we've all heard that same statement before, right? If you have fewer of these, there's going to be fewer crimes with them. But the problem is that they're going after people who haven't been convicted of anything. They're going after people based on statements of what people think they might possibly could do in the future. And they're going off of that. And then the person who's out there actually looking to do people harm, that person's not mentioned at all. Those people have a pretty much free reign. And so essentially what you're doing is you're disarming the law-abiding and allowing the people, who are not law-abiding to run free. And so you end up with things like, the situation we saw on the subway and stuff where people have no way to defend themselves. And then that is what you're touting as a success? I don't see how that's a success whatsoever, is making people more vulnerable to the bad guy. But this is the nonsense that's happening across this country right now, and it's happening at a huge scale. So much so that we obviously have that new office that is being created in the executive branch. And so they're going to be there and they're going to help states initiate their own policies and how to enforce it and stuff. And you're going to start seeing these numbers go up because money talks in these states, right? And so if they implement a new law in their state, and that means that they're going to get funding from this new department in Washington, well, they're going to do that. They're going to get that funding, create an even bigger bureaucracy. And this entire thing is meant to strip away people's rights. Don't fall for any other claim. That's all that this does. It is meant to take people's rights away before they have a chance to prove that their rights shouldn't be taken away. If you could simply take them first and then later on have them defend themselves, well then for at least that time period, even if they do end up getting them back, which not everybody does, for that time period they are without their rights. And that's again, that to me, that's not the big win that all these governors are touting it to be. But people need to take this stuff more seriously. They need to watch what's going on here, because I can tell you right now, it's only going to get worse as it becomes more socially acceptable across the country. The more people hear it, the more it goes in one ear and out the other, the more you're going to start seeing people talk about it as if it's some big great thing that's really doing some fantastic job and it's working. All you're hearing is people who've lost their rights without due process. That's it. That's all I hear whenever I hear them talk about this. Somebody else lost their rights, somebody else didn't have due process, and nothing's being done about it. We've got some big lawsuits, hopefully, that will, stop this, maybe put a stop to it and maybe overturn some of this stuff. But in the meantime, it just continues to happen. So anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about that. Watch that news conference, and it just really made my head spin. So again, I wanted to run that by you. Curious what your thoughts are. Leave those down in the comment section. Thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe. You guys have a great day.